Hello and welcome to KoKo Language Learning. You've tuned in to the Deep Dive, where we take a stack of insights and give you the shortcut to being truly well-informed.
Hi, everyone. Today, we're really diving into something that touches so many of us. What actually matters in your 30s. It's such a pivotal decade.
Absolutely.
So if you stick with us for this deep dive, what you'll gain is, well, hopefully some real clarity on navigating this time. We'll look at practical, actionable tips for personal growth, things like relationships, uh, building solid foundations for your health, and definitely getting smarter with finances.
Yeah, all the big ones.
Exactly. The goal here really is to inspire you to build a life that feels genuinely fulfilling, you know, on your terms. It's about laying down foundations that will serve you well for, gosh, decades to come.
That's right. And we hear so much about the terrible 20s or even this fear of turning 30, almost like it's this big deadline or something.
Yeah, this cliff edge you mentioned.
Right. It can often feel like all those big plans you maybe sketched out when you were younger, they just sort of fizzle out, or they don't quite fit the person you are now.
Mm-hmm.
One of our sources actually put it really beautifully, I thought, describing it as feeling like you're camping in the dark, you've only got this little lantern, and it just shows you maybe 3 feet ahead,
That's a great image.
isn't it? But the encouraging part is you can still trust that path, even if you can't see the whole map, that it's leading hopefully somewhere beautiful.
And there's that other metaphor too, the rocket one, right?
Yeah.
That feeling that maybe the intense fuel that really propelled you through your 20s, that drive, that ambition,
Yeah.
maybe it feels like it's losing a bit of strength.
Yeah, like you're slowing down.
Exactly. And that can feel really uncomfortable, that sense of slowing down. But the truth, as our sources really dig into, is that there's still plenty of fuel.
Hmm.
You just need to look for it in different places, maybe shift where you're drawing energy from. This decade, it really can be a time of incredible self-discovery and transformation, even if it feels a bit overwhelming at the start.
Okay, let's really unpack that feeling of uncertainty, because I think that resonates with so many people. You hit your 30s, maybe mid 30s, and you look around and realize those, I don't know, grand life plans you meticulously mapped out.
Yeah, the checklist maybe.
Exactly. The checklist just isn't fitting anymore. Or maybe you achieved some of it and thought, huh, is this it? One source highlighted this really poignant feeling of loss of self,
Hmm.
or even a waste of potential that can bubble up, especially maybe when navigating big new roles, like becoming a parent or a major career shift. So when that old roadmap feels completely fuzzy, where do you even begin? How do you find your bearings again?
Well, what's truly fascinating and maybe a bit counterintuitive is that this internal struggle, this feeling lost, it's not really a setback. It's actually often a powerful catalyst for real personal growth.
Okay, how so?
Because the 30s, perhaps more than the 20s, which can be very externally focused, they really push us to genuinely question our purpose beyond just, ticking boxes or meeting societal expectations.
Right, what you should be doing.
Exactly. It becomes about reevaluating your true values, your actual ambitions, moving from what you maybe thought you wanted when you were 22 to what you genuinely need now to feel fulfilled and aligned.
Okay.
We saw this great example in the source material, actually. Someone shared their experience where even a seemingly small, almost whimsical act, like starting a little website about a really niche hobby,
Okay.
that became this huge turning point, not because the website itself became, world famous or anything,
Right.
but because the process of doing it sparked this period of intense learning, figuring things out, developing new skills. The process, the journey itself became the reward, not just the potential outcome.
Oh, I love that. That idea of grow as you go. That's such a great phrase. This notion of not waiting for everything to be perfect or for the grand plan to be fully formed before you start. Just begin.
Yes, take the first step.
It really ties into something else we saw, which is this common regret people mention later on, not putting themselves out there more because they were afraid of failing.
Oh, absolutely. Fear of failure is huge.
And our material strongly suggests that maybe we need to reframe failure, that it should actually be, I don't know, embraced, maybe even celebrated sometimes as just data, a tool to learn and improve. But, I mean, that's easier said than done, isn't it? How does grow as you go actually help someone shift that fear?
That's a great question. It's fundamentally about shifting from stop dreaming and start doing, even if the doing is small,
Mm.
because action builds momentum,
Hmm.
and momentum helps quiet that fear.
Okay.
And this is where actively investing and learning, and I mean learning beyond just formal education, becomes so vital in your 30s.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting another certificate.
Right.
It's about stimulating your mind, keeping it flexible, exploring curiosities, whether that's, taking online courses in something totally unrelated to your job, or diving into podcasts on new subjects, or even exploring something like a Sparketype assessment.
Sparketype. What's that?
It's basically a framework developed by Jonathan Fields. It helps you understand your innate drive, like what kind of work fundamentally energizes you and makes you feel alive, your imprint for work that matters to you.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's quite insightful for figuring out where to direct your energy. But the point is, these experiences, they aren't just hobbies. They actively cultivate neuroplasticity. Our brains can keep forming new pathways. Learning isn't just for kids, it keeps us vital.
So it's not just about personal growth, it's like brain health, too.
Absolutely. A stagnant life, as one source puts it quite bluntly, is rarely a fulfilling one. It's really about cultivating awareness, seeing yourself in the world more clearly. And when you do that, you can harness your energy, your power for things that genuinely matter to you.
That makes sense. Building on that theme of understanding ourselves better, relationships, they definitely shift and evolve in your 30s, don't they?
Oh, massively.
Your social circles, they might naturally get a bit smaller as priorities change. Maybe people move away, have kids. And sometimes you look back, maybe with a little bit of regret, at friendships that just sort of faded.
Yeah, the slow drift.
Exactly. How do we navigate that? Especially when, let's be honest, you often feel like you have less social energy than you did in your 20s. You can't just bounce back from a late night like you used to.
It's true. And this raises that really crucial question. How do we shift focus from maybe the quantity of connections we had in our 20s to the quality of connections in our 30s and beyond?
Okay, quality over quantity.
Precisely. And the research here is just incredibly compelling. It's actually quite surprising to many people. These long-term studies, like the famous Harvard study of adult development that followed people for, gosh, over 80 years.
I've heard of that one.
Yeah. It starkly revealed that close, quality connections, real intimacy, feeling supported, they aren't just one factor in happiness. They are the single biggest predictor of our physical health and longevity throughout our entire lives.
Oh, really? More than other things?
Significantly more influential than things like cholesterol levels or career success, according to that study.
Hmm.
People who reported being most satisfied in their relationships at age 50 were literally the healthiest at age 80. It's profound.
That's
It
incredible.
really is. And one powerful lesson from a relationship coach we looked at kind of echoes this. They said, relationships are work, but it's good work with the right person.
Ah, okay. The caveat.
Right. It really hinges on those shared core values, shared goals, fostering that essential feeling that you're on the same team, you're in it together. And that applies to close friendships just as much as romantic partnerships.
That feeling of being on the same team. Yeah, that resonates. Okay, so nurturing the good ones. But what about protecting yourself in those relationships? You mentioned boundaries earlier. Those often awkward, uncomfortable conversations.
Necessary conversations.
Right. For someone who maybe spent their 20s being more of a people pleaser, always saying yes, avoiding conflict, where do they even start with setting boundaries? It can feel so selfish or confrontational at first.
It really can feel that way initially, can it? But it's a huge one. It's a skill many of us really have to consciously develop in our 30s. Fundamentally, setting boundaries is how you teach other people how to treat you, how to love you in a way that works for you.
Okay, teaching people how to love you. I like that framing.
Yeah, it's actually a profound expression of self-love, of self-respect.
Yeah.
It creates this protective balance. It allows you to genuinely show up and love others without completely burning out or becoming resentful or totally losing your own sense of self in the process.
So it's not about pushing people away.
Not at all. It might seem counterintuitive, but the space created by healthy boundaries. It doesn't create separation.
Yeah.
It actually fosters deeper, healthier intimacy
Mhm.
because there's respect and clarity. And, linked to this, for people who maybe used to intellectualize their emotions a lot, kind of analyzing feelings instead of feeling them.
Yeah, keeping them at arm's length.
Exactly. The 30s are often a crucial time to learn to truly feel them. Our sources really emphasize that emotions aren't inconvenient. They provide critical information. They guide your intuition.
Like a compass.
Precisely. Even difficult emotions. Embracing heartbreak, for instance, not as some kind of personal failure, but as the teacher, a catalyst for understanding yourself, your needs, and what you truly value in a connection much more deeply.
That's a powerful reframe. It also sort of challenges that old, maybe slightly fairy tale idea of finding the one, doesn't
Right,
it?
absolutely.
This shift towards understanding that we likely have many soulmates throughout our lives. Not just romantic partners, but those deep, nourishing friendships and connections that support us in different, equally vital ways. And those need nurturing, too.
Exactly. Those friendships are part of that core support system. They need time, attention, and yes, healthy boundaries too.
Okay, wow. So much there on the internal and relational side. Let's shift gears a bit, though, to something equally vital, maybe even more foundational in some ways, our health.
Yes, the physical foundation.
Right? Because in our 20s, let's be real, health often feels like this infinite resource you can just borrow against. Pulling all-nighters, maybe not eating great, skipping workouts, thinking, I'll fix it later.
The later bill comes due.
Exactly.
Yeah.
In our 30s, your body really starts keeping score, doesn't it? The cumulative impact of past choices starts to become, well, undeniable. Little aches and pains, maybe. Recovery takes longer. So what do we need to be doing now to make sure our future self, 40s, 50s, even 80s, looks back and says a big thank you?
Such an important question. And if we connect it back to the bigger picture, it's less about those crash diets or extreme fitness bursts we might have tried in our 20s.
Yeah, the quick fixes.
Right. It's much more about building sustainable, consistent health habits. Think long game. The 30s are really critical because this is often when those chronic, sometimes silent issues like high blood pressure or prediabetes or elevated cholesterol can start to subtly creep in if we're not paying attention.
Okay. So proactive steps. What are the key ones?
Well, a big one is establishing a relationship with a primary care provider, getting those regular checkups and recommended screenings. This isn't just about reacting when you get sick. It's crucial for prevention, catching things early when they're much easier to manage.
Makes sense. Basic, but important.
Hugely important.
Yeah.
Then there are the lifestyle choices. Quitting tobacco if you smoke is probably the single most impactful thing you can do for your long-term health. The stats are just staggering, linked to roughly 20% of all cancers, 30% of cancer deaths.
Wow.
Limiting alcohol is another key one. The guidelines suggest aiming for no more than one standard drink per day for women, two for men. Practicing good sun protection using SPF 30 or higher daily, not just at the beach, makes a massive difference in preventing skin cancer and premature aging down the line.
Yeah, the vanity aspect kicks in there too.
It does. And of course, nourishing your body well, focusing on whole foods, plenty of fruits and vegetables. It sounds basic, but a surprising fact from, I think it was the CDC, is that only about 1 in 10 adults actually eats the recommended amount of fruits and veggies daily.
Only 1 in 10. That's wild.
Right. So there's huge room for improvement there for most of us. Small changes consistently add up.
Okay. And sleep. You mentioned health foundations. We often sacrifice sleep first when life gets busy, work deadlines, kids. But our sources kept hammering this point home. Sleep is absolutely non-negotiable. Why is it so foundational?
It truly is the bedrock.
Yeah.
Aiming for at least 7, ideally 8 hours of quality sleep nightly, it's the foundation for literally everything else we're talking about. Pretty much. Your physical well-being, your immune function, your cognitive performance, memory, focus, decision-making, your emotional regulation, your mental health.
Hmm.
During sleep, your body does crucial repair work. Your brain clears out toxins that build up during the day. Memories get consolidated. It's where resilience is physically built.
So skimping on sleep isn't just making you tired, it's actively undermining everything else.
Precisely. And managing stress proactively is the other piece of that puzzle. Finding healthy ways to cope, whether it's regular exercise, meditation, yoga, spending time in nature, whatever works for you. Because chronic stress, left unchecked, it just wreaks havoc. It impacts every single system in the body: cardiovascular, digestive, immune, mental clarity. It diminishes your capacity to thrive in all those other areas we've discussed.
Wow, okay. Message received on sleep and stress. That's huge. Now, let's talk money. Because this is where things can get really interesting in your 30s. That concept of compound interest starts to feel less like a math lesson and more like, well, potential magic.
Huh. Yes, financial magic, maybe. It really is prime time for making impactful financial moves.
So explain that compound interest thing again simply. Why are the 30s such a sweet spot for it?
Okay, so compound interest, in essence, is your money making money. Your initial investment earns returns, and then those returns start earning their own returns. It creates this snowball effect over time.
Right, the snowball.
Exactly. And the reason the 30s are so key is because the biggest ally you have in this process isn't picking the perfect stock or having some secret strategy. It's simply time. The longer your money has to grow and compound, the more dramatic the effect.
Give me an example.
Okay, think about this. Investing, say, $500 a month starting at age 30 versus waiting just 10 years and starting the same $500 a month at age 40. By the time you reach age 65, that 10-year head start could literally mean hundreds of thousands of dollars more in your retirement account. Same monthly amount, just started earlier.
Hundreds of thousands just from starting 10 years earlier.
Depending on the returns, yes. It's the power of time working for you. So the practical steps this points to. First, you need a clear picture. Create a budget. Know what's coming in, what's going out. Understand your net worth assets minus liabilities.
Get organized.
Get organized. Then, prioritize building an emergency fund. Life happens, job loss, unexpected medical bills. Having that cushion, ideally 6 months of essential living expenses, is crucial. It stops you from derailing your long-term goals when emergencies hit.
Right, the safety net.
Exactly. And then protecting your loved ones. Making sure you have appropriate life insurance, especially if people depend on your income, and disability insurance, which protects your income if you get sick or injured and can't work. Often overlooked, but vital.
Okay. Budget, emergency fund, insurance. Got it. But what about debt? That's a huge burden for so many people entering their 30s. Student loans, credit card debt. How does that fit in?
Yes, debt is a massive piece of the puzzle. It's wise to make a really deliberate plan. Generally, the advice is to tackle the bad debt first. That usually means high-interest debt, like credit cards. Pay those down as aggressively as you can because the interest is working against you.
Okay, attack the high interest stuff.
Right. Once that's under control, or you have a solid plan for it, then you prioritize investing for those long-term goals like retirement. And this is where things like a Roth IRA, if you're eligible, can be incredibly powerful.
Explain the Roth IRA benefit again.
Sure. With a Roth IRA, you contribute money you've already paid taxes on.
Right.
But then the money grows tax-free. And importantly, your qualified withdrawals in retirement are also completely tax-free. That tax-free growth over decades can be a huge advantage compared to traditional accounts where you pay taxes on withdrawal.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
Tax-free on the back end.
Exactly. The overall goal here really is to become your own financial planner, in a sense. Not necessarily picking individual stocks, but taking consistent, small, disciplined actions. Automating savings, automating investments. Those small steps, thanks to compounding, truly transform your financial future over the decades. It's less about giant leaps, more about steady progress.
Steady progress. I like that. Okay, so we've covered some really concrete areas: health, finances, relationships, but beyond those practical steps, what about the internal stuff? How we think and how we live day to day? What kind of mindset shifts can really transform our experience of our 30s and help us thrive?
This is such a crucial layer. You could almost call this decade a potential mindset revolution. One of the most powerful shifts mentioned across different sources is actively cultivating a growth mindset.
Okay, growth mindset versus fixed mindset. Remind me.
So a fixed mindset is the belief that your abilities, your intelligence, are basically fixed traits. You are who you are. A growth mindset pioneered by Carol Dweck is the belief that your abilities can actually be developed and improved through dedication, learning, hard work. It's the difference between saying, I'm bad at this and I'm not good at this yet.
Ah, okay. That yet is powerful.
Hugely powerful. It opens up possibilities for learning and resilience. And perhaps the single most impactful tool related to mindset, something that came up again and again, is learning to say no.
Saying no seems simple, but it's hard.
It's incredibly hard for many people. Learning to say no clearly, confidently, and often without needing to offer a long, guilt-ridden explanation. That simple act creates the space you need for the life you actually want to build. Yeah. Space to shed negative habits, space to avoid overcommitment that leads to burnout, space to let go of self-limiting beliefs about what you should be doing. Every yes is a no to something else, maybe something more important. And related to this is embracing failure, as we touched on earlier. Not letting setbacks define you, but seeing them as essential learning opportunities. Your capacity for growth is directly tied to how you process failure.
Okay. Growth mindset, saying no, reframing failure. Those are big mental shifts. And what about time itself?
Hmm.
It feels different in your 30s, doesn't it? Sometimes the individual days feel incredibly long, packed with
It's
responsibilities.
the long days.
But then you blink, and suddenly a whole year or 5 years have just flown by in a blur. How do we manage that feeling, that perception of time?
That's a very common observation. It becomes crucial to consciously distinguish between what's merely urgent, demanding your attention right now, and what's truly important, contributing to your long-term goals and well-being.
The urgent versus important matrix.
Exactly. It's so easy to get trapped in the urgent but not important quadrant, just putting out fires all day, feeling busy, but not actually making progress on what matters most.
Mm.
A key strategy here is deliberately creating white space in your schedule.
White space, like empty time.
Yeah, unstructured time. Time for reflection, for creativity, for rest, for just being. It's not a luxury. Our sources suggest it's actually where some of our most valuable insights emerge, where deep joy can surface, where we recharge our batteries. It requires actively setting boundaries around your time.
Boundaries again?
Boundaries, again, is a powerful act of self-respect because ultimately, how you spend your hours and days is how you spend your life.
Mm.
You have to protect that time for what truly nourishes you.
Wow. Okay. That really lands. So finally, pulling all these threads together, the mindset, the time management, the health, the relationships, the finances, how do we make those intentional lifestyle choices day in and day out that genuinely enhance our lives and move us towards that more fulfilling future we're aiming for in this decade?
I think a core theme here is understanding the profound difference between striving for an impressive life, one that maybe looks good on paper or impresses other people, and cultivating a genuinely good one that feels authentic, nourishing, and aligned with your values, regardless of external validation.
Impressive versus good. Okay. What does that look like practically?
Well, our sources suggested several areas. First, think about your home environment. Actively create a space that feels like a peaceful sanctuary, a genuine refuge, not just, a place to crash between activities.
Yeah.
It's your home base. Make it support you.
Okay, invest in your nest.
Exactly. Second, prioritize experiences, especially travel if that appeals to you, while you potentially have fewer commitments than you might later in life. These experiences tend to expand who you are, broaden your perspective, and create lasting memories in a way that accumulating more stuff rarely does.
Experiences over things.
Generally, yes, for deeper fulfillment. And third, a very modern consideration. Treat your digital life with the same care you treat your physical life. Be incredibly mindful of your information diet.
The information diet.
Yeah, what you consume, online news, social media, etc., it profoundly shapes your thoughts, your emotions, your focus, your worldview, often more than we realize. Curate it intentionally. Does it uplift you, inform you constructively, or does it drain you and make you anxious?
That's a really important point. Be intentional online, too.
Absolutely. It all comes down to consciously developing routines, habits, and choices that genuinely serve you and the life you want to live. Creating a sense of freedom within a structure that supports your well-being and goals.
Okay. Wow, we've covered so much ground. So bringing it all together, what's the big takeaway here? What does this all mean for you, the listener, navigating your 30s?
I think the biggest takeaway is that the 30s aren't just another decade rolling by. They represent a really profound turning point, an incredible opportunity. It's about consciously, intentionally laying down strong foundations across all these areas: self-awareness, relationships, health, finances, mindset.
Foundations that will really support you for the long haul.
Exactly. And doing it not out of some sense of fear or obligation, like, oh, God, I have to do this, but ideally from a place of genuine, loving care for your future self.
Yeah.
Investing in yourself now is a gift to the person you'll be in your 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond.
That's a great way to think about it. A gift to your future self.
And maybe the greatest gift you can give yourself in this decade is integration. Starting to see how these different areas aren't separate silos, but deeply interconnected.
So?
Well, recognizing how, say, getting your finances more stable might actually give you the confidence to take a career risk that feels more aligned with your purpose.
Hmm.
Or how investing in your physical health gives you more energy and patience to show up better in your relationships. Or how managing your time wisely creates space for both work and the things that bring you joy and
It
connection.
all links together.
It all links together. It's not about achieving some kind of impossible perfection in any single area. Forget perfection. It's about finding a sense of harmony, a synergy across them all, letting each piece strengthen the others, creating a life that feels whole and resilient.
That feels much more achievable than perfection. Finding harmony. Okay. So, as you, our listener, reflect on your own journey, whether you're in your 30s now, approaching them, or maybe looking back, here's a final thought to mull over.
What's one small, consistent action, just one thing that you can start doing today that your 40, 50, or even 80-year-old self will look back on and genuinely thank you for?
It's your deep dive, your journey into building a life that truly, deeply matters to you. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive today. Until next time, keep exploring, keep growing, and keep making those small, intentional steps forward.